let's start consonant of the week. Consonant of the week with T. T. So T is a fortis stop. Similar to P. It is alveolar, which means it is pronounced on the alveolar ridge of the mouth. You don't really need to know where that is. Just know that that is considerably further back in the mouth than P. And it is similar to P in many ways. It is a fortis stop, so it will share a lot of just general stop things like no audible release. And mass release. And aspiration. I won't go into these in too much detail. You can go watch the phonology segment of week 1 if you want to know what these three are. And fortis stop, I guess. If you want to know what these are, you can go watch week 1. But that is essentially the basics of T. But T also has some very unique and interesting behaviors that are very, very much distinct from P. First up is Yod-Coalescence. You do not have to remember this at all. Literally no one will understand what you mean when you talk about this. But basically, it is when literally when Y and D, or T, come together in a word, they turn into affricates. So, for example, in British and Australian accents, they turn into affricates. For example, in the word T-U-B-E, tube. This is pronounced for Australian, something more like this. I actually don't know the exact vowels of these two, but you just have to bear with the pseudoscientific nature of this. I didn't look too deep into this, but this is palatalized. So there is actually an invisible Y sound in here for British and Australian English speakers. And so what happens when there's a T and a Y is that they turn this into a CH sound. So instead of saying tube, they would say tube. Tube. It's quite funny. And it's like the stereotypical British accent, right? I don't suppose you know about that, but regardless, it is something they do. And I think this combination occurs, forgive me if I'm wrong, but in the second set of tense U. You'll notice this U is tense. So it produced that Y sound. I do vaguely recall something like that happening. But you'll have to fact check for yourself. Next up, T-globalization. Right. First up, what is a glottal? Right? So your mouth consists of many, many moving parts. I don't think that needs to be said. Your mouth and your throat are very, very highly complex organs. So they consist of many parts. But the part that glottal is referring to is actually in your throat. Forgive my drawing skills. They are not right. But this looks like a Minecraft villager. But your glottis is right here. And it's actually the part that separates your esophagus from your trachea. Your trachea? Trachea, yeah. It is part of your larynx, and it is basically like a small, so there's one tube that goes down like this. There's another tube that goes down like this. And this is the glottis. And what the glottis does is it blocks the food tube. It separates the food tube from the air tube. Right? Well, obviously food needs to be able to get in. So, what can your glottis do? Well, your glottis can open. Your glottis can open. It's like a ring, right? Your glottis can be closed or open, so air can flow through. And this is a glottal stop. I might have switched this around, actually. I definitely switched this around. This is food. This is air. It's so food doesn't get into our air tubes, you know? And so a glottal stop is this. This is a stop, because if you remember, a stop is a closing up of something and then a release, and this is just not. This is the vowel state, I guess you would say. But yeah, that is what a glottal stop is. Now, a glottalization is what happens in words such as football, where this T gets turned into a glottal stop, which is represented sort of like a question mark with no dot. Football, the T in football gets either turned into a glottal stop, or the release is turned into a glottal stop. In which case, no audible release can be heard because the glottis is closed. The second one the one I just mentioned is called pre-glottalization. Which is indicated like this. And the square brackets. And this one is full glottalization. I forgot the name for it. It's a complete glottalization. It just turns black. Right? Some people say this, some people say this, but most do one of these. And lastly, we have, affricates, flaps. But first, I just want to mention that these two, this is not pronounced T. Okay? This is not TH. No. Please do not say this. I get physically hurt whenever anyone says this. Do not say it like T. Because this is a separate sound. Usually like as in thick, right? And this, it can be two sounds actually, but this is the most common one, as in thick. And this one is your good old T. As in, so do not say tick, do not say tree, do not say tree, like as in T-R-E either. Right? Do not say trough. It's, sorry. That's a different one. That's the African. My bad. Do not say tick. Do not say tree. as in the number. They are separate sounds, okay? And just because something affects T does not mean it affects TH. In fact, it means it does not affect TH. Anyways, flaps. So, intervocalically, T turns into a flap, which is sort of like an R sound. It's like a common R sound in many languages, such as Japanese. This is the Japanese R. In words such as button, which is pronounced button in like normal speech, not talking emphatically like I am right now. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. This happens word vocabulary, word at the end of words too, and this actually overrides this. But it's basically still the same because this has no release, has no audible release, and this prevents audible release. So the end result is basically the same. However, this is present at the end of words, such as foot. Anyway, back to flaps. Button. T turns into a flap when it's intervocalic, such as in the word button or bottle. But don't you feel something's a little bit weird about the word bottle? How many vowels do you think are in the word bottle? Because I'll give you a hint. It's less than 2. This is the only vowel in bottle. Why? This is reduced. And what that means is, this is silent E. This is silent E, sorry. What that means is this acts as a second vowel. So this is still a flap, despite this being an L, because the L is a vowel. Not really. But we call it a syllabic consonant because it acts the same way that a vowel would in a syllable. There are 3 syllabic consonants in English, and they are marked with a little thing on the bottom. L, N, and N. Those are the 3 vowels that can act as consonants in English. Oh, sorry, consonants that can act as vowels in English. Fun fact, N actually is a vowel in the word N. But I digress. It's just a cool thing. But I digress. Lastly, affricates. So I got a little bit confused earlier because the consonant cluster TR in words such as tram, tram. I feel foreign just saying that. But anyways, in words such as tram are affricates. For example, tram, you can hear my affricate. You can hear I'm not saying tram. I'm not saying tram. I'm not saying tram. I'm not saying tram. I'm saying tram. Right? Again, affricate means these are pronounced simultaneously. This also happens in words like eighth, although it may be very minor. This one, right? Yeah, this is eighth. Why? Because this actually pronounced, this should actually be pronounced A, J, let's keep it simple. E, I, G, H, T, as in the word 8. And then a TH. It's just these get merged into one because of spelling rules. But these also get merged into one phonetically because nobody is saying somebody came in 8th. 8th. That's a pain. So instead, what we say is 8th. Right? We merge the TH and the T together. Honestly, that would have been way better segue into this. Segue, which is spelled S-E-G-U-E. Because it's a French word English people horribly butcher. But anyways, this means like transition. There's one more affricate, which is TS in words such as beats. This curly thing denotes simultaneous pronunciation, by the way. But not always, because at the start of words, like tsunami, there is no. It's not tsunami. It's one T. It's the T is silent. Wow, I should get into silent letters, but yeah, we have so many loans, and a lot of them are silent. I might do spelling once I'm done with all the consonants. There are less vowels than consonants, right? Yeah. I think there are less vowels than consonants. So I'll do spelling after vowels. Anyways, it's time for vowel verbs.